We could get into it now. Now we're going to get into who's capping. Who's capping us, who's been lying to us, who's been spinning us, who's been BSing us, or who been BSing y'all. Now on Thursday, we did an interview. We did a couple interviews Thursday, but the first one kicked off with Kehlani. Now, Kehlani came in the building, and we're just going to make it real for everything that happened. Shout out to Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, because he was one of the people, too, that posted this up and backed the Morning Hustle after things were being said.
Big up.
Now, basically, what happened was Kehlani, we put out an interview, and she looked very upset in the interview, arms folded, arms crossed, whatever the case, whatever have you. Now, she decided to take to social media after this interview came out, and I'm going to tell you our side. She basically said, I see this interview was still released. I've been advised to speak. I was going to remain quiet. Every other recent interview has been bubbly, warm, informative, and open from start to finish. This interview was cringy, a lot of mockery, and invasive. This is why your favorite artists always stop doing interviews or people don't want to speak anymore. I'm only speaking to a select few folks who deeply care about me and always been in my corner, and the fans. Sharing clips out of context doesn't help me. All the comments on YouTube and the video agree with me. It was a whack interview, and in my opinion, it's pretty evident. Now, it was a whack interview. Now, let me tell you why the interview was whack. When Kehlani first came in, her and her team came in about an hour and a half early before our scheduled interview. This is a syndicated morning show. We cannot stop the show in order to do an interview for you because you came early.
Right.
First and foremost, you walk in the door, even though we still did do your interview a little earlier, you walk in the door, you did not speak to anybody in the room. Am I wrong or am I right?
Nah, she was a little cold and distant coming in.
She came in cold and distant, nasty, sat in her chair and folded her arms. Now, as professionals we are, we continue to go on. We're very familiar with the fact that she goes by certain pronouns, and we know this because we listened to Sway's interview.
Like, wow, she's really blossomed. They really blossomed.
You can use she too.
I can use she. Okay. Well, give me effort for trying. Come on, man.
I appreciate that.
Okay, just off the back, so it's okay if I'm mixing up the pronouns.
Yeah, I use both she and they. It's interchangeable. I'm not like I'm not tripping too hard on either.
I lost sleep on that.
I have a lot of people that sit me down. They're like, I just have a serious question, like which one? And I'm like, well, that's why there's both.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
It's optional.
Okay.
It's optional. But I really do appreciate it. You guys are the first people to like make that emphasis in an interview.
Really?
Okay, now let me say, because, I do my research, and, I heard that part in the interview, and hey, I wanted her to feel comfortable. I wanted to do the knowledge and, meet them where they were at.
That's right. Now, here was the first thing that was said to her, right? This was the intro.
Not the very first thing we said, because we said hello when she came in, even though she was still calling distance, but popping the interview off, here's how it popped off. All right, welcome to the Morning Hustle. They are here, and they is she, and she is with us. She go by the name of Kehlani.
Now, according to the team, her, or whatever the case, that was supposed to be you mocking her, saying exactly what she's saying, what she wants to be referred to as. Now, here on the Morning Hustle Show, anybody that knows me knows I'm an avid supporter of the LGBTQIA community. Like, don't ever try to spin it and make it seem like we play around or mock around with things like that. Now, if it's something different if you don't understand. We asked her about this in the interview. In the interview, she continued on, and this was her response every time.
How you feeling, Queen?
I'm tired. How are you doing?
How are you handling it all?
I'm chilling.
You got the new project, Blue Water Road, and you're letting people into your mind a little bit now.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what that means, right? The passage into your thoughts.
Yep.
Man, it's refreshing. The sonics are good. Did you curate this in a way to where you wanted it to match the months that we were in?
I was just making music that I liked.
And that's it. That's all we kept getting from her the entire interview. I'm a little confused if Headcrack addressed her by her, if she felt like you were mocking, what was your issue with me? Because I never came and said anything, and I came very professional, and we kept going. In hindsight, we should have ended that interview where it started,
and
because she was nasty to us.
Let me say, the only reason I kept the interview pushing is because, the VP of promotions is a personal friend of mine, and I did it on the strength of my friendship and relationship with her.
Okay,
because
and on the strength of me, no more friendship.
She was cold and rude. You
Yeah.
know, and if you felt like I was mocking you, which I clearly wasn't, You could tell from the intensity of my voice and the intent in which we asked questions. We both did.
Right.
That there was no mock there.
I just want to say, I feel like the issue is in this whole situation is the lack of respect for urban media and the fact that you feel like you don't have to come to platforms like this and do interviews because you have Cosmopolitan and MTV and Vanity Fair and things of that nature that will feature you in their magazine. So when you come here, you could come with your arms folded, this, that, and the third. But when it's Sway or Big Boy, somebody that you're more familiar with or think that it's a bigger name, then you're going to treat and laugh and joke with him and treat him whatever way, not knowing Sway, a brother of mine. We done interviewed so many big artists, from Nicki Minaj to 50 Cent to VP Kamala Harris. This is not a small platform, sis, and you have to respect all the people that are taking their time out to sit down and interview with you. It was rude. The real nasty person in the situation was her. We never did anything to her. She was rolling from the beginning because she's filming her documentary. Tell her to pull the footage where we were being disrespectful. I talked to her about certain records. She said I was being invasive. She says in a record, I can taste you on me. I asked her about that. That was being too invasive. We're talking about your music at the end of the day. And we did not have to open our platform up to you at all whatsoever. So from now on, if there's an artist that has a problem with answering questions, do not come to the Morning Hustle show, or please get media training before you come in order to answer the questions that are difficult to you. If there's a question you do not want to answer as a grown-up, you say, I do not want to answer that, and you move on. If somebody addresses you by the wrong thing, you correct them, and you move on. But to sit there and have your arms folded and pout with an attitude and tell your fans to stay out my DM. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's wrong, sis. Is it Uchi Wally, or is it One Mic? Is it Black Girl Lost, or Shorty owe you for ice? We called you what you wanted to be called. We respected you. So moving on, don't come to the Morning Hustle show if you don't want to talk and be open about your album, your questions, whatever the case. This is our platform at the end of the day. Now, good luck with your album. I heard it only sold 21,000 copies.
Something like that.
Maybe that's why you're doing all this, or 5,000 physical copies. But why don't we help her out? Play a joint for her, because that's all she wanted at the end of the day anyway.
It's not in the system.
Well, I'm L'Oreal. That's who's capping. Kehlani's definitely capping. You can follow me at Star L'Oreal, L'Orel, or Morning Hustle Show. And we never asked to interview her, be clear.
Nah, we didn't. And at the end of the day, if you're an artist who doesn't feel comfortable doing interviews because you're just not in the mood, take a knee, take a day. Because you know what? When you bounce around from situation to situation, you muddy up the energy of everybody you touch if you're having a bad day.
Talk to your label if you don't want to do interviews no more. That's not up to us.
Big facts, yo. Appreciate that, Lo.
The Morning Hustle.